Serious, girls who have been guilted into going out with a nice guy. How did it go? Serious replies only. The date wasn't too bad, although he kept changing pretty much every single sentence he said so it would fit my interest. Something like I like ice cream. Cool. I like frozen yogurt. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Ice cream is nice but frozen yogurt is amazing, and so on for 4 hours straight. At the end I had no idea what he was actually like. He also kissed me in the most awkward way possible. I guess he thought it was going to be romantic and spontaneous, but it wasn't. Then kissed me again when he walked me to the train station. He hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe and started making weird noises, kind of like what some people do during heavy, pre-ex makeout sessions, except it was a rather quick kiss in a public place. Started texting me before I even got home, and when I didn't answer, got upset. Told him he was nice but I don't think we'd work out. Said it's cool, asked if we can stay friends. Silly me, I said yes. We kept talking for about a month, during which he very friendly kept checking if I had slept with someone else and making sure I know how much of a ex-god he is. You know, I once even made my lesbian friend come super hard. This is also the time I met my current BF and was meeting a bunch of new people at uni, so we'd talk less and less each week. Then one day he asked me out. I said I wasn't sure if he was completely fine with us being just friends, so that wouldn't be appropriate. He went on this massive rant about how he'd actually been seeing someone else in that time, but they broke up shortly before that, how he's so over me and didn't even think I'm that hot anymore, and how nothing would happen. I said no, because I was broke and couldn't fully enjoy myself while worrying about not spending too much. We were supposed to go to a Metallica concert. Apparently his best friend had spent £120 on his ticket, but then last minute found something better to do. But he promised he'd take care of everything and we could chill at his place with pizza and some films, as friends. I said I could consider the concert, but there's no way I'd stay over. I mentioned texting someone else to see if they would be fine with me sleeping over at theirs afterwards. He jokingly asked if it's someone I'm sleeping with, and I said it's none of his business. Then he told me how much of a bitch I was for sleeping with other people and not sleeping with him. Said it's so unfair that he knew me so much better but he felt like other people had more rights to me than him, and that we kissed and he didn't expect me to be this slutty. By the way, I did not want to kiss him, it was just so random. I felt him making out with me before I even realized what his intentions were and stopped it rather quickly. Then he called me a few more names, said he's such a nice guy and didn't deserve to be treated like that, and we never spoke again. Fun times. People who don't know what nice guy means should read your story, because that guy pretty much checked all the boxes. We were friends in high school and most of college. It was one of those things where he was a friend of a friend, but we always went to the same parties, hung together in the same group and so on. The guys in the group would always say things like, "Ah man, you and Kyle would be so great together. You should give him a shot." I'd kind of laugh it off because for a majority of the time I had a boyfriend. Eventually me and the boyfriend broke up, and about a week later Kyle asked me out. I wasn't really ready, but I figured it was a first date and everyone had been pressuring me into giving this guy a chance, so I went. The whole evening was awkward. We just ordered a pizza and watched movies, which was what we did in our friend group anyways, but this guy would not stop staring. I felt like I couldn't even eat because I was under a microscope. The evening ended uneventfully, but then there was the aftermath. We kept texting and seeing each other in the friend group, and about a week later he asked when we can have another date. I told him that maybe I had rushed into things too fast and I just wasn't feeling any connection with him. I broke up with my girlfriend for you. Yup, dude found out I was single, dumped his girlfriend of 8 months just so he could ask me out to an awkward pizza date in his bedroom. The timely cherry on top is that they got back together, and apparently I'm tearing their marriage apart because she found a bunch of texts from me from 6 years ago and he admitted that he kept them cause he still likes me. I haven't seen him in 4 years. Edit for timeline. We are friends in high school, 10 years ago, and college, 5 or 6 years ago. While we are in college, he asks me out after dumping his girlfriend. Sometime after that they get back together and are married last year. Last week, a friend informs me that they are on the verge of divorce because she found texts he had saved, screenshots, from our college chats 5 or 6 years ago. Wow, that sucked. Yep, double helping of guilt from the friend group as well as, man, I should go out with you again since you gave up your girlfriend for me. So sweet. We were good friends in high school and most of college, and I genuinely thought he was a good guy. He had a lot of typical nice guy beliefs, but I thought he was pretty harmless. He confessed when we were 20 that he had feelings for me since high school, but I was in a relationship. He accepted that and we continued being friends. About a year later, when my relationship ended, I was devastated, and he invited me out with a group of friends for some drinks to get my mind off of it. He told me I could crash at his house afterwards since it was closer to the city, and I really thought the whole thing was a sweet gesture when I was feeling really low. He didn't really drink much because he was driving us back, but I definitely had quite a few to get my mind off the breakup. We were friends. I thought I was safe with him. He let me pass out in his bed, and he took the couch. I woke up a few hours later to him feeling me up in my sleep and trying to unbutton my pants. I screamed and pushed him off, and it took like 30 seconds of struggling for him to actually get off of me. He didn't say anything, and just left the room. I just laid in bed awake for hours trying to process what had happened. He wasn't there when I left the next morning, and sent me a text later on that day just saying, "Sorry, things got out of hand last night." I couldn't believe he had referred to his attempted sexual assault as things getting out of hand. I didn't respond, and for the next year or so, I was busy anytime he tried to meet up. I never confronted him because it broke my heart that he did that to me. He eventually moved to another city after college. TLDR, he knows what he did, and he wasn't a nice guy. That's not just attempted sexual assault. Groping you while you were unconscious was sexual assault. Something similar happened to me. I had a friend group that I partied with when I was about 20. Originally we all became friends because I was dating one of them. We all worked together. It was me and like 4 or 5 guys. Guy and I broke up and we all still hung out every day. One of the other guys kept trying to get with me but I was not attracted to him. I thought he was my friend. We all went to a party at an apartment and we were drinking honey whiskey. Never again. I got way too drunk, way too fast. I literally only remember blurs of the night. They all knew me so well, I thought I could trust them. I remember being on a sofa, then bathing in some dirt. Everything was fragments. They carried me to the SUV when it was time to go and I piled into the trunk. Real safe, I know. The friend that had hit on me a few times laid there with me. I was so drunk. He was kissing me and I was so ducked that I thought it was the dude I dated. He was groping all over me and for whatever reason the other guys thought it was funny. Friend told them I could just crash at his house. I was too drunk to consent. They let him take me in the house. I remember bits and pieces of him having sex with me, with someone else in the bedroom, a brother. I would never do that. I was having a panic attack in the morning and wanted to GTFO. He made a big deal that his mom couldn't give me a ride home and I sat there for hours. Between crying and throwing up. Finally my female friend got off work and picked me up. I learned a lesson that day. Don't expect anyone else to protect you. Not to mention the guys laughed after the fact like I was a slut, and not totally just raped by a friend. I don't drink anymore. That guy eventually apologized to me a few years later, but it was just so ducked up. He still messages me every few years trying to be nice. Obviously he knows how wrong he was. He still thinks he's my friend. He was genuinely nice, and I thought I was being too picky and maybe I could see this through, if I took the effort of getting to know him. But every time I offered a contradictory point of view on any generic topic of discussion, he would proceed to casually mock my appearance, attire and my personality, in retaliation to my disagreement. That was the last date, obviously. Edit, he might not have been genuinely nice. I think I once slept with the same guy. Disagree on anything? Your opinion doesn't matter because I've seen you naked, you're just my duck buddy, you're moderately unattractive right now, you have liberal views. I was completely smitten with him at the time before I realized I didn't need to take such garbage from someone like that. He was genuinely nice and I thought I was being too picky and maybe I could see this through if I took the effort of getting to know him. Mine was similar to this, but minus all the mocking. A guy in college was super into me. I think we had a class together that must have been a mixed years class because he was a year below me. He would wait for me outside my other classes and ask if he could walk me to class and I felt bad saying no because he was genuinely nice. He would ask me out and I declined a few times because I just wasn't into it, but finally agreed one day because I thought the same thing. Maybe I'm being too picky. The date was fine but I didn't feel a ton of chemistry. I gave him a quick kiss at the end, which I later felt bad about because I think I knew already I didn't want a second date. When he asked me out again I told him I had a good time and he was very nice but I just didn't think it would work out and I was super busy. I had classes, 2 jobs and an internship so it wasn't just an excuse. I truly did have very little time, and he deserved a girl who could appreciate how kind he was. He seemed to take it okay but kept asking if I was sure and he didn't mind that I was busy. He seemed very disappointed. On my way home I get a text from an unknown number, which turned out to be his roommate whom I had never met, basically yelling at me for being a bitch to the guy and calling me awful names and just being a general masshole and saying the guy didn't deserve what I did to him. So yeah, the guy was nice but his friend was a donk. We sort of kept in touch throughout college and he still watches my Instagram stories occasionally, though I don't think he follows me. He definitely is one of those guys that meets a girl once and falls so head over heels for her immediately that she is his only interest, whether or not she is also interested, for months on end. It's funny because he told me about a girl he met on a cruise, who he was hung up on for a long time and I think I was just the next infatuation after her. That wasn't his roommate, that was your friend using his roommate's phone to vent his true feelings to you. Go read r/nice guys sometimes. This is a constant excuse whenever they reveal their true selves. Oh, lol, ignore that. That was my roommate masshole friend little brother dog walked on the damn phone. And even if it was actually the roommate, consider how he got her number.